Meeting order. So we are having a special meeting of the mayor and council for one single piece of business this evening, and that is to elect a replacement for the vacant council seat that currently exists to serve out the remaining term of Councilwoman Gilbert that ends in May of 27. We had 3 applicants that we interviewed during the process last Monday. Spent a good bit of time with each of them. And what we're going to do now is move forward with a vote. We'll take a motion, a second, then we'll have any discussion that's necessary during that period. And then we will conclude with a vote for who is going to fill that seat. It will be a roll call vote. Doug will roll call each of us. So each of us will vote individually as opposed to collectively as a group, which is a little different than the way we typically do it. So at this point, what I'd like to do is get a motion and a second for any one individual that someone would like to make a motion for, and then we'll move forward from there. Unless anybody has anything. Yes, sir.
The code says that the clerk list, I will read the list and then I will do the vote like we're doing.
Yes, I apologize. I am so sorry.
Okay.
I have written that down. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, I have the script for myself.
My fault. Thank you.
Okay. We don't need a motion.
But we don't need a motion.
You don't need it.
My mistake.
If you're ready, I can read the list of the 3 certified applicants that you had noted before. We have Thomas B. Baird, William A. Heitzelman, and Richard H. Huss. Those are the 3 applicants. So now I'm gonna go down and we're gonna get a voice vote for each of the members of the common council.
Well, before we do that, I thought we were gonna have an opportunity to.
That's under your report too. If you want to do that first.
Yeah, let's do that before we move forward then.
Sure.
So, yeah, I knew we were gonna have a moment of discussion. I think that's what threw me for the loop. So what I'd like to do now is open up the floor to have a moment of discussion before we actually have the actual vote. So I'll start with the mayor. Madam Mayor, if you have anything you wanted to add before we have the vote.
Just a couple words. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to start by thanking all 3 applicants for the open position on the Common Council of Westminster. I think every applicant who submitted for the position has some wonderful strengths that would be a benefit to the council. Additionally, what I was impressed with is that you all have a call to service, as was evident from everyone's past experience. And that call in and the belief in service is what is so important one of the so important reasons from my perspective in a role as a councilman of the City of Westminster. So I just wanted to end by saying thank you for your interest in the application and the submission. And I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Pecoraro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to add my thanks to all 3 of our applicants. As all of us sitting up here know who have been candidates for office, it's hard to put your name out there in the public. Throw your hat in the ring in a public setting like this. Obviously, we have 3 candidates. We're only going to be able to select one person, and I'm going to say 2 candidates in particular made this a very difficult choice for me personally. It's 2 candidates, while they have different sets of experiences, they both have strong backgrounds in public administration, which would have brought great strength to this role, in different ways. Both serve in an appointed fashion in city activities and city boards and commissions, which also demonstrates their civic activism, which is certainly something that I always look for. People who want to get involved in things like this. As I look at it, we're looking now at a situation where we've got 1 year left in the term. It's important, I think, that we find a candidate, or somebody to fill a vacancy who, brings all those strengths to the role, is able to jump into it, make a contribution right away. I think either of the 2 candidates that I've had a difficult time in making choice between would have been able to do that. So just want to say that, as we cast our votes, this has been by no means an easy choice. I want to thank both the candidates in particular for applying and for, and I hope that they'll continue to be active, city activities first. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. McGrew. Mr. Dayhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also want to thank all three of the candidates who applied. We are all aware of what it's like to put our name out there and to run for office. And I appreciated everyone who applied for it. I enjoyed the interview process, really enjoyed talking with everyone. So I want to in particular thank all three candidates. I want to thank the two candidates that came this evening. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you coming. It was a very difficult choice. Two of the three folks I've worked with for years and have admired and really appreciated your leadership in the community. And I think both of you would have made an excellent council member. And with whoever it is that we choose this evening, I hope the other person continues their leadership role in the community, and we'll look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you, Mr. President.
Everybody's pretty much said what I would have said, but I will reiterate, I really appreciate the fact that we had three candidates to choose from. I really appreciate the two gentlemen tonight that are here for, putting your hats in the ring and interviewing. It's not easy to put yourself out there. I'll be frank, both of you interviewed incredibly well. The one thing, and I know both of you personally as well, so that kind of made this a difficult decision. At the end of the day, I think I really took into account the fact that the term only has 1 year left on it, and it's really important that whoever steps in can kind of get up and running as soon as possible, because whatever this appointment is, the reality is the voters will make the decision in May of what happens. So again, I really appreciate both of you being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Huff. I'm not going to reiterate everything everyone said. They said it pretty eloquently, but I'm actually going to speak directly to the two of you that are here. I thought Tom was going to be an absolute shoo-in given his experience, and it was going to be a pretty easy decision. And you were incredibly impressive. I did not expect you to come on the way you did, and you made it a very difficult decision, Richard. I fully expected Tom was just going to be the easy choice, and as it turns out for me, it was not an easy choice at all. And I think, like Councilman Huff said, if we had two positions open, there was no question you would both be getting those positions. I was very impressed, but I think for me, Tom just has that slight edge as far as his ability. He can sit in this chair tomorrow. He was employed by the city for 30 years and did most of the roles as in terms of department directors. So that really was the linchpin for me, was his ability to come in and run immediately. But I got to be honest, I think you'd be an excellent councilman just as well. I think either one of you could do the job probably as good or better than me, quite frankly. And I mean that sincerely. I was really impressed. So it pains me a little not to be able to vote for you two. I wish I could. But we got to pick one of them, and I got to pick the one that can run tomorrow. And I know Tom can do that. But it was tough. I mean, brutal tough. I was very impressed with your interview. I've always thought you're a great guy, and I've always liked you a lot, but I did not expect you to come in and interview the way you did. You made it real tough. So that's what I got. So now we'll do this the right way instead of screwing it up the way I was going to.
Okay, I'm just gonna reiterate the names that we just talked about. So Thomas B. Baird, William Heitzelman, and Richard Huss were the three applicants that were certified in the interview for you. So I'm gonna read off your name. Please just give me the person you will be voting for. Council President Cavacci.
Mr. Baird.
Okay. Councilmember Pecoraro.
Thomas Baird.
Councilmember Dayhoff.
Thomas Baird.
Councilmember Huff.
Not that you need my vote, but Thomas Fair.
Council President, that's a unanimous vote for the seat as required by the code and charter.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Bear.
Pleasure to meet you, pleasure to meet you. I hope we stay in touch too. Okay.
Rich serves on.
Richard's not-
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
been
back.
back.
Yeah. We're not gonna let him. So you'll be sworn in on Monday, at the, right, Doug?
Yes.
I'm very nervous about saying anything at this point.
There's some people that wanted to come. Will that be like at the beginning?
Yes.
Yes, we'll do that at the beginning. Absolutely invite all the people you would like to come. We'll give you a chance to say something when you get sworn in. You can speak a little bit. And if you want to bring them up with you for some pictures, we'll pause for a minute, let you do all of that, and then we'll start with the business. So they don't have to sit up.
Yeah, I have some family members and some special friends I think are gonna come, so.
And you'll be sitting up here. So
Okay, thank you.
be prepared. It's gotta be weird for you because you sat on the side for.
It's been surreal to sit there
I can
and
only
then to sit
imagine.
there to be at plan commission meeting.
Yeah.
And now to sit there as a council member is kind of like full circle.
All right, well, let's go ahead and without
You know, man.
how do I say it again?